facts and tastings, they've got you covered. Whiskey Round Table.
We were singing the Whiskey Roundtable theme song. Hey, it's Friday night at 7:30. You know where you're at. You are with us. We are the Whiskey Roundtable.
I'm your host, Big J.
Karen Helen Keller.
Doug Dunbar, and our special guest tonight, my good friend Pat Patterson from not Los Angeles, we'll say Orange, California.
Southern California.
What's the sound effect you usually do when he's...
Well, this I was going to get to.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Pat's a golfer.
Doug he mentions that every show.
That's typically what I do on Fridays.
Whenever we say your name, that's what I always do.
I'm very often finishing a round of golf around 5 o'clock, and I tune into the round table.
You're often in the clubhouse.
Would that be
4:30 or so.
Would that be putt-putt or like a regular golf course?
No, regular golf course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a handicap or anything? Or how do
About
you...
a 10
walked a little bit
Okay.
of a limp, but
10, yeah.
And,
I said you walk a little bit with the limp.
He's with the
You
Crips.
said you were handicapped.
Well, yeah, more ways
he
than
has,
one.
and then I think he has about a 10, his 10 beer handicap's about a 20.
That's right. I've usually had a few beers on the course, and again, I turn on
There's
the round
nothing
table,
wrong
and
with
I
that.
open up a little scotch and enjoy the show.
Nothing
right.
wrong
Absolutely.
with that.
Well, thank you for coming, man.
It's an honor, actually.
Thank
It's a
you
pleasure
very
to be
much.
here.
It's
I'm
great
glad-
to meet
Yeah.
you finally
Yeah, I've
after
listened
all
to you guys
this
for years.
time.
Long-time listener and viewer.
Yeah, thank you.
So Pat's been a friend of mine since I moved back to California. I met him in 82, 83 time frame.
Sorry,
my first
Pat.
job
Yeah,
out of
graduated.
college, and we've been pals ever since. He's part of my high-low group that does that annual trip. And
Well, you had a couple pictures that you brought here.
Oh, boy.
Years
yeah,
ago.
so I got
back in the
I
day.
think the first one is a kind of a picture, not too long, probably
Are we
after I
running
met.
to it already?
Yeah, sure.
What's that?
If you can.
Oh, shoot.
So this is
my.
this is Pat.
Did I just
not
spoil
too
something?
long after we met, probably.
Pat, are you
Okay.
Irish by any chance?
I'm very
Pat
Irish. Patrick
Patterson.
James.
Oh, the bit
Patterson.
of the Irish.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Patrick
just a wee
James, so
Irish.
We'll get you'll be able to see.
Well,
that.
I didn't
I
know
wonder
about
what
the
picture
picture.
you're-
My bad, because I didn't know about the picture. I just remember him bringing pictures of you and a couple of the other guys that he grew
Yeah.
up with. And then I didn't mean to spoil that, by the way.
No, but he's
The 1980s, if we remember, the fashion
Best
was...
decade ever.
Yeah, it was a great decade, but we
Well,
didn't dress
there you are.
necessarily.
Oh, this was probably an early high-low.
Oh.
You remember that picture?
I don't.
Yeah, I bet you don't.
I bet I didn't remember it then any more than I do now.
Just by looking at that picture, I don't even
So this-
think
I'm not
he
sure I remember
remembers how he got there.
I would say this next one's about 15 years ago on one of our high-low.
Oh, you want me to go to the next one?
Yeah.
Oh, I can do that. Put your seatbelt on, kids.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey.
Johnny
Maybe.
Depp, you ain't seen
Yeah,
nothing.
That's right.
Look
That's
at that.
awesome.
Oh,
We did a little bit
sucky.
of a sailing trip.
That's
and
awesome.
That's what he
Arr.
wore on the first
Oh, what about Bob?
first trip.
What about Bob?
Well, that's what I was thinking of the sailing trip. Remember the movie? What about
Oh,
Bob?
that's so funny. Okay, yeah. No, that's great. I love it.
That's awesome.
I don't see the picture of that.
It's coming.
Oh, yeah.
I'm-
Well,
see the
because there's a
picture?
delay.
we're really
It's coming
delayed
from-
today. Like,
I know.
it'll show up over
We
there.
have a long. There you go.
Very much delayed today.
I
You
do
remember
remember
that,
that.
right?
I
Yeah.
do remember that.
Oh, well, then you didn't have that much fun.
No, that was a very fun day.
Yes, it was.
That was early in the
What
day.
he remembered.
We were in the Channel Islands
I remember-
up by British Columbia.
I remember very much everything about that day.
Where
There is
were
a picture with a bunch of us with pirate gear, but
Yes.
Where were you at?
I was going to say
in
I was not the lone pirate.
off the coast of British Columbia. There's a place
Oh,
called
nice.
the Channel Islands.
Okay.
And, yeah, we did a little sailing trip. A lot of fun. One of our members knows how to sail.
He
None of the
actually
rest of
captained the
us
ship
did.
and learned to captain the ship. And
He was very
We were crewmen.
patient trying to give us all orders, and we stumbled around.
You didn't commandeer in that outfit? No, you
Yeah.
just let him run with it, huh?
Aye.
Yes, for sure. So, yeah. So, long time there. So, Pat, since it's a whiskey show, tell us a little bit about how you got involved with whiskey. And
Well, again, I was always a beer drinker. Most of those pictures there was probably beer.
in fact,
and I'm
if
still
you
very much a
didn't
beer
have your
lover.
jacket on, you can show us your tattoos.
Well, that's exactly true. I'm very much a beer lover, and
It happens.
I practice what I preach. And
There you go.
for years on the camping trips, probably a third of it, or 40 plus years, or almost 40 years of these wilderness trips, probably the first 10 of them, I never drank the whiskey.
Oh, you're kidding.
Wow.
I just never was a whiskey guy.
No, you've never, no
And,
spirits
well,
of any kind.
Spirits of any kind. I was purely a beer drinker, and as we got into some of the backwoods, it became harder
Me
to
too.
carry.
I never drank
You
whiskey.
couldn't carry enough beer with you, so I learned to acquire a taste for whiskey. And
Desperate times call for
Yeah,
that's it.
desperate measures.
ironically, all my friends, and at the time I remember calling them Scotch snobs and things.
Right,
I
right.
used the term derogatorily actually with them. And over the years, I've in fact morphed into a Scotch lover, and I appreciate the single malts, especially in the Islas.
I have to say this because I think it's interesting. Of all the Scotch whiskey styles, single malts, he decided that he likes Islays, which is the peaty, smoky type
Right,
that we're going to do
right.
tonight.
Yes.
Very.
So that's why
I'm
it's,
excited to
That's why
taste
we it was good to have him on the show tonight. But it's just interesting because that's usually one that you work up to. That's not the one you would choose out the gate as your favorite, right? So that's. But that's Pat. He's always
He's a little different.
I've been a little different.
Yeah.
Been
That's why
accused
he
of that.
fits in so well.
Yeah,
here.
Yeah,
That's
right.
me and Doug, when it wasn't his turn for the hammer hang, but we did. What did we do? 1 or 2 bottles.
We did two.
We did 2,
and I brought one. Ended up bringing one home last year. We had so much whiskey.
and
so-
then well, you guys had ran out of that. Whoever turn it was ran out of that
Yeah.
bottle, and you were like, "Well, I just happen to have some."
yes, it was
But it was cool. We're
Very well.
Me and Doug, we like to, blend stuff.
Oh, sure.
So we go right down the bar.
Well, we
shot of
enjoyed-
this, shot of that, shot of this.
We enjoyed some fine whiskeys that you had given us.
Well, I
on the last
appreciate it.
trip.
That
We
was
really,
It was.
Yeah.
I said to him, I go,
Put that
dude. I
together.
said, let's put something together. So
your
he's like,
donation was
Well,
wonderful.
it was his donation as well.
Yeah.
I can't take all the credit for it. I mean, it was something I just said. It was just an idea. I said, let's do this. It worked out well.
So you introduced him to the hammerhead.
yes.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks like out here, just on the
The scroll.
scroll, we got Eric Black. We got
Eric.
Eric, you're wearing a Speedo. What?
Whoa,
Phil Weaver is out there, of course.
Cousin Phil.
Master woodworking craftsman. Lindsay Dunbar.
Hey, Lindsay.
Jennifer Boggs.
Who's that?
And what? Patrick Patterson's out here.
Oh, geez.
How did that? Yeah.
How'd that happen?
Hey,
Must be another country.
cousin Phil, what are you drinking? Did you finish off that Wild Turkey Russell's Reserve? What was it that you were drinking?
He actually had
I'm
a
just-
whiskey last time I was here. Yeah.
He did, and he did when you were off. He was still finishing that up. So I'm just curious. Where are we? How did that fare? Are you back to beer? Just
What's
Yeah. Let us know.
what's Eric? What are you drinking?
Eric and Jen. We always
Jen?
want to know what you
Booker
guys.
Boggs.
Booker Boggs. Yeah.
oh, did you say? I'm sorry. Up north, Rob.
Oh,
did you
Rob.
mention him?
I didn't notice.
Yeah, I just ran across his name.
Oh, okay,
There
Rob.
you go.
Oh, sidecar in the house. Hey,
Sidecars are good.
wake up. Are we keeping you up over here? Come on.
Ever.
Wakey, wakey.
Wakey, wakey. You got these 2 good-looking gentlemen between you.
Oh,
Me.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Come on now.
Come on now.
Come on now.
All right, hang on. What's
gonna
Rob
be
got?
fun
Oh, Rob. Oh,
stories.
Rob. He's
Oh,
smiling. He's smiling like he just got out of jail.
Phil says he's still finishing up the Russell's Reserve 10 years. He has
Nice.
to find better friends.
Oh.
All right.
Well,
Have one on me.
well, he's PA, right? He's in
Yes.
Pennsylvania? Okay.
Central PA.
Yeah, it's hard to get bottles out there. That's weird.
You have to go to a state store, I think, or I don't know if it's changed.
Well, we were just on a trip. Last week, Memorial Weekend. And it happened to be every liquor store that we went to was store picks. Store picks. I was like, holy cow. So I couldn't help
Did you-
myself. I bought a
acquired
bottle.
some of those?
I bought a bottle or so. But
So I have a funny story about
Okay.
that too. So I think it's a state law, at least in New York, it's a state law that doesn't matter how old you are, they have to card you.
Oh, absolutely.
sure.
And I think PA might be the same. So we had stopped off to, check what was there. And they asked for my ID.
Yeah.
And they asked for his ID.
I would say bless you here.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to cut out here for a second.
And I gave my ID, and they were like, well, where's his ID? I go, it's okay, it's my dad. And the
He's
guy
like-
goes, is that really your father? I'm like, yeah, it's my dad.
And here's me. I go, because I know I look the part. I say, no, she's just kidding. I'm actually her grandfather. He's like, oh.
He believed
him.
him.
And I'm okay with that.
Can you still make you pull the license up?
Oh, hell yeah.
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 We do that in California as well. We do.
Do
Yeah,
they?
Yeah.
but I wasn't in. But it was kind of a weird spot we were in, and I wasn't carrying any kind of weapon, but it was kind of strange, and it was like children of the corn, so to say. They're staring at you. You put your food down. You bring everything into the thing. They're like,
Do I hear banjos?
"Can I help you?" They stare at you, and they're like, "Can I see your ID, please?"
Do you mind if we dance with your dates?
Yeah, it was pretty strange, So I was just like, so then there's one. I won't mention anybody's names, but
No.
we were out there, and one of the guys is eating and all this stuff, and I'm like, dude, before the banjos come out, man, let's get in that Suburban and get the hell out of here, man. So we did. We stopped a couple of times on the way there and a couple of times on the way back, but I made smoking time on the way home.
So just to follow up on a couple of your questions, and I know you're trying to interview Pat here, but the scroll's going crazy. You have such a fan club.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pat's a big draw.
You mean people like you?
I don't know.
So Eric Black is drinking a Rebel Cask Strength pick that
Nice.
he did.
What?
What?
Dude,
Wow, he was involved in it.
call us. Come on now.
That's the next big thing in whiskey that I want to experience. I want to be a part of one of those kinds of picks.
Well,
I said
we
in my
did.
last-
We did not us, but Cleveland Bourbon Co-op.
Yeah.
You and Joe.
Me and Joe,
Right.
Hank and Karen. Well, you didn't participate.
I didn't participate.
And it was just the four of us: Hank and Carl, me and Joe, and we picked the very first bottle that the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op ever started. So, and it was my favorite drink, and it, is Old Forester Single Barrel,
There you
which
go.
you can't really get anymore. You can still, because it was a lower proof. I want to say it was 90 or 96 proof. I can't remember. Eric, correct me if I'm back. Sorry,
You're not
my
black.
tongue, my tongue is a little thirsty.
What do you expect? This is the Whiskey Roundtable.
You're
So
Italian.
I'm
not
Italian,
like black.
right? So anyway, I'm
He's Sicilian.
Thank you. So anyway, let me know what the proof was on that, if I'm wrong on the proof. But so it started with the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op. They started getting together with all
90
these
proof, he
distillers.
said.
90 proof. Thank you. And I have a bottle right here, but I wasn't gonna pull it up. So when I don't know, maybe a month ago, when Carl came in and did the show with Bob Leakin with us. Oh my God! You were out of town.
Yeah.
Crazy. We had so much fun, and but Carl brought me a bottle. He goes, so I got a gift for you. He says, nope, you're opening this bottle and you're opening it tonight. He goes,
There you
because
go.
I know you.
There you
All
go.
you're gonna do is pack it. He goes, and I'm not leaving today until you open that bottle. So
There you go.
We opened it up. I still have some. I want you guys to try it. But anyway, it was a good.
Nice.
Huh?
That was a late night.
Oh,
You remember it?
Oh.
barely. Jennifer Boggs said that she has some Orphan Barrel Fable and Folly, and now she is working on some Yellowstone.
Oh, hey, Booker Boggs. When we were up in New York, they had like 5 different orphan barrels. And they were all like $250 a bottle. I think that's what I paid for mine. But they have every friggin' orphan barrel you can think of. And the liquor store here in Ohio that I go to, they have 1 or 2 orphan barrels, different orphan barrels there too, and they're like $250 or $199 here.
I had a question too. What of the blood oaths? What number are we up to now?
I don't know. We haven't been able to get it in 2 years.
Oh, okay. I just wondered too
Oh.
if anybody's.
I think I have.
able to get
I
any.
was
I think
thinking
I have
7.
I was going to say 5 or 6 bottles, but you see that blood oath?
Blood
I
Oak.
saw one back
That's
there.
all full.
I see a
Yeah.
pack 9 out here.
That
when I
that's a
search.
6 that you have back there. I think.
I see a pack 9 out here.
Okay.
That looks like at least what's coming up is the most recent is a pack 9. So yeah, we're a few years behind.
We are a few years behind.
It
Okay.
happens.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to find it.
Gotcha, Eric. I beat you on it. Beat
Oh,
you.
Eric.
He's right there
right.
on the 9.
Eric.
So we're up to number 9.
Oh, Jennifer said 8.
Okay.
Well,
What was I think so? Eric, one more time. You had brought a bottle over that was your father's bottle, and you had the and it blew everybody away at what it was. I want Eric to say what was that bottle and what was the year. Okay, Miss Karen wants to.
No.
Miss Karen wants to cock block you, Eric. Go ahead.
Wouldn't be the first time. No, just kidding. Anyway, I'm sorry. So while we're waiting for Eric to answer that, do you want to continue with board?
Pat-
we
digress.
We've done.
I mean, yeah, it was pretty much his story. It's a short whiskey story. He's kind
now
of
a
new
whiskey
to
lover
it, but as we said, interestingly, he chose Islays as his favorite right off the bat, and that's kind of his wheelhouse. You're going into Glenmorangies and some other ones lately that are kind of on the softer side of the spectrum.
I will share with you guys that early on, and imagine we're out in the wilderness and they're taking flashlights and holding them under the bottles to show the color, and they would read the boxes. We'd been hiking all day and we're exhausted, and we'd get around the campfire and we'd open these scotches, and they would use all the adjectives and adverbs and any way you can color the language, apricots, and I just used to laugh at all the things they said they could taste.
He used to roll his eyes over.
And they would offer me the whiskeys, and I'd say, Jesus, no, I'd drink another beer. And again, over the years, they rubbed off on me. And again, I now find myself drinking whiskeys and saying, I could taste this and this.
Yeah.
I one time laughed.
Can I ask you a
We're
question?
going to put you to the test here in a little bit.
Can I ask him a question?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So, have you ever drank out of the Glencairn glasses?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Like those
So-
These are the specific.
that is the tell-all of tell-alls.
It's
Okay.
the proper way to drink it.
Correct. And you
Understood.
will, when they talk about apricot and caramel and
Yeah.
and all that stuff, coffee, all that stuff comes from that glass. And we've done this, well, I know I've done it a million times, where I'll pour something in a rocks glass, just a little bit, and I'll pour that same amount in a Glencairn glass. Most people say, I smell whiskey, I can't really tell, blah, blah, blah. And they pick up that Glencairn glass. They can't believe it's the same product.
It channels it.
Oh, yeah.
channels
It's so...
The way you smell it and it
yes.
opens the
Yeah.
nose, and the way you're drinking it. Yeah.
So maybe Doug will next time you guys go on the hammer hang, maybe Doug will get some glasses for you guys.
Well,
and drink it
ironically,
properly.
remember we're in the wilderness, and we've all made and had for years, probably 30
We
years.
have a stainless steel hilo cup. It's
Ah.
a tradition that we have to use.
I'm very...
But as a gift, I've always wanted to get some hilo. We have a logo now. I want to get some of those.
Hilo,
Actually,
you do?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Awesome.
I want to get some logoed Glencairn glasses for gifts. I also want to get obviously some for the round table.
Sure.
That's another thing on our list of
wonderful.
offerings that we need to have available.
And again, it's called a Glencairn.
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 Yeah.
Scotland.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Scotland.
it's yeah. So
If you get the real Glencairn glass,
I've seen the
it's-
shape. I
it's a
just didn't know
crystal.
specifically
And you
what it's
can't-
called. Yeah.
We'll
It's
show
like
you
a
after the
tulip,
show.
actually.
Yeah.
yeah, it just
But
helps it
it's
to
a game
collect the
changer.
vapors and channel them
It
up
really
to
is a
your
game
nose.
changer.
Got it.
All right.
So it's the real
Sorry.
way to taste whiskey.
Didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, absolutely.
No,
Again,
go
I
ahead.
found it.
And there's other
Hilarious.
glasses on the market, some of which I've covered on the Whiskey Wizard that
The
are also
Norland
good.
glasses.
Yeah.
Norland
Yeah.
glasses.
There's
we have
all
those.
designs coming out all the time that are supposed to enhance that experience.
I still come back to this glass.
It's a go-to. It's the staple. Yeah.
So it is glass.
Just give me the paper bag. No, I'm just
Yeah. You gotta, it's the one you compare them all to.
Good whiskey in a tin cup still tastes good.
Hey,
if
nothing
you
wrong with
if
that.
you if
If
you
you're out in
kind
the wilderness, it doesn't really matter.
if you because all the glasses here are Glencairn glasses, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but if you look at the very bottom of the glass, you'll see writing in there. And
Oh, I
it
can.
says
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
clear.
From this angle, I can
Okay,
actually
so-
see it. Yeah.
So it's like a real deal glass. So they
That's
have
that's the tell.
knockoffs, which is fine.
Yeah.
But that's what we drink out of. I mean, we have a whole bunch of. I think we have 6 or 8 Cleveland Bourbon Co-op glasses etched, but I never.
You've hidden them.
I know, but I won't
away.
put them out because people will take them.
Break them.
Oh well, we've had that happen.
It
many times.
happens.
And so, Pat, no golf this weekend, right? So
No golf this weekend.
That's
Oh,
a good golf.
are you going to be okay?
I was going to golf Monday. I said this weekend.
I just want to make
I
sure
said this
you're
weekend.
good,
I will be
you're
golfing
not.
Monday.
Oh, okay.
all right.
Okay.
So,
Hey, I
Okay.
don't know. It takes a lot of balls to golf the way.
Oh.
Hey, you know the last time Greg went to the
Bing.
golf course, he broke his leg.
I broke my leg. First
Did
time
you
I ever
really?
went golfing.
get out of here.
I fell off the ball washer. So
It's
that's
an old,
bad.
that's an oldie but goodie.
Oh, that was bad. You had me at the.
It happens.
You hooked me.
So Eric Black said what he shared with us, and this is not what I thought it was. Eric.
see, thank you, Eric.
But oh shoot, the frickin' scroll is lighting up.
All
I'm
right,
sorry,
let's go.
I gotta back up.
Listen, we have a guest.
Not
We
my
can go with
father's,
this
but it was an I.W. Harper circa 1973.
Unbelievably good. I was blown away.
And Eric just turned 50 in February, and he just
Happy
opened
birthday.
a Japanese release. It too was circa 1973. Was that I.W. Harper that you opened up? Japanese release. Very cool. I don't know why. I was thinking it was a Balvenie or it was some kind
I
of.
thought it was like a CC or a Seagram's or something. It
I
was
was
something
thinking
crazy.
It was something different. It was something
But
different.
still,
It's not
it was
what I had.
it was really good. But
Well,
it is what it
and
is.
Eric said he's glad you have clean balls, even though you broke your leg.
Thanks, Eric.
And Bob, I know, I'm so glad you're here, Bourbon Bob.
Bob, we
Thank
have
you.
a question for you.
Hey, Bob. What-
Bob, would you like to do the show again?
Oh yeah, wait. What day are you off?
The
2
16th.
weeks.
That would be
16th.
Friday the 16th.
Father's Day weekend.
Father's Day
Yeah.
weekend. You think you can get off? Let me know.
Oh, easy.
All right.
That means that's a whole different meaning for Bob.
So our Cleveland Whiskey Distillery is one of our top sponsors. So we drag Bob at we make fun of him. We do all kinds of stuff.
He
Great
loves
guy.
it.
I've
He's
seen him on
great
the
guy,
show.
man.
He's
So
so
much
much
fun.
fun.
And he
Great
has,
guy ever.
He has a cool Halloween costume. He dresses up as a bumblebee. But anyway, we won't talk about that. But he's a very small little stinger. But anyway, figure it out.
Bob says hi, Doug Barr. That's what we called
Doug
you
Barr.
last
Doug
time.
Barr. That's what your
he
name was.
combined Doug and Dunbar.
Yeah, Doug
So
Barr.
you are now Doug
I don't
Barr.
think it's probably not the first time.
That's actually
Yeah.
a neat name. I'm surprised Glenn hasn't done that.
No,
It's
I know.
perfect. And I would just like to give a shout out. We have a new person on the scroll, Canal Whiskey and Whiskey. They say they really appreciate the Port Charlotte 10 and the distillery.
Oh,
There's some knowledge there.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Thanks
We're
for
about to
joining us.
enjoy
We
some
really
of that ourselves,
appreciate
aren't
it.
Yes, that we're just.
Yes, we
I think
are.
we? Yes.
that's a good segue.
awesome.
'cause
I'm
it is-
excited.
It is time for us to, I think, start that process.
All right, we'll come back to the scroll in a little bit, kids.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you.
No,
for all the
we
support.
love having the scroll light up.
It's so
there.
much fun.
Yeah, yeah.
So much fun.
Yeah, but eventually we do have to get to the business at hand.
It happens. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Um,
But you want to take a look
Go ahead.
at what we're going to be
Come on.
checking out? Take a closer look as we take this ride on the bottle can.
Hey everyone, it's
Yeah.
time for the bottle cam. The bottle cam.
Glug, glug, glug,
Yeah,
glug, glug,
so
glug,
the,
glug. What are you pouring over there, G?
Canadian Club 100% rye.
There you go.
Oh, hey now.
CC.
I'm having some of last week's Glenmorangie 18, so
Wow.
as my pregame.
I'm enjoying some of that as well.
Okay.
Oh, you like that?
That
huh?
was one of our highest scored whiskeys on
Yes,
the
it
Whiskey
was.
Roundtable.
Very good.
It was. You know what? I think that was our highest this season.
Oh,
Actually,
definitely
it
this
was.
And
season.
what was the score? 4-7?
mean, the
So
average
Greg
is
gave it a
around-
4.6. I gave it a 4.5, and Doug gave it a 4.4. Cheese
Okay.
gave it a 4.1. So
And he's not even a
That's
Scotch
because he's
guy,
cheesy.
so-
And that's the
Whatever.
highest.
telling you.
And that's the highest this year, huh?
it's the highest.
Well,
Oh, it's
Yeah.
If you knew
maybe
anything
the
about
highest.
You guys
Italian
are tough.
cheese,
We
You
might
guys
have
are
only
tough.
had one higher in the whole time that I've been doing this show.
Wow.
As far
So
as
we
I-
never theoretically reached number 5.
Some
No,
we
we have
have
not.
individually.
There's no
I think you
utility.
guys have given a 5.
Wow.
I know Greg
I know
did.
that I have not.
He gave a 5 for.
Okay.
I think it was an Old Forester. He actually
that-
gave a 5 on.
Let's see.
All right, we got a whole lot going
Yeah.
on. So shall
Okay.
I go
Yeah,
into
let's
Get
the?
into
a
it.
little bit about
Let's get into
the,
this.
Port Charlotte. 10.
Okay, so Port Charlotte, which I did not know, it actually comes from the Brook Lottie distillery. So I think we did that last season back in August. It's the kind of like the teal colored Scotch bottle, which is really nice. And Jimmy Falb, who is a friend of ours, that's one of his favorites.
Yes,
although
exactly.
he's not a heavily peated guy,
Right.
and the Brook Lottie is not.
But he
as
likes
peated.
that one.
But
'cause
he
it
likes
is.
that, yes.
Right.
So in Gaelic, it means brae or hill by the shore, is what
Yeah.
Brook Lottie
Okay.
means. And it's funny because they actually tell you how to pronounce it, because this whole time I'm like Brook Lottic. Brook Lottic.
Yeah.
I can't speak Gaelic.
Gaelic,
you keep me
I'm-
straight.
I'm learning it, but it's tough.
It is.
It's tough to figure out how to say something when you look at the spelling.
Just the tongue of it is even tough.
Yes,
It's
it
like
is.
being in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Honestly, you cannot read
I
those
can't
street
understand
signs
those
for
people.
nothing.
Yeah.
Anyway, the distillery, it was established in 1881 by the Harvey brothers, and it survived 2 world wars, bad economic times, but then in 1994, the distillery closed for what they thought was going to be permanently. But then in 2001, Mark, I'm not going to screw this up, I always do, Rainier, Reynier.
Rainier.
Rainier, okay, it sounds French. And Sam,
Oui, oui.
Rainier.
oh, fromage. Sam Coughlin, they were very knowledgeable in wines. They teamed up with Jim McEwen, who, don't know Jim, it's best I can do, who was an established expert in whiskey, and he was previously a master distiller for Brook Lottie. They got together and they reopened the distillery. It is on the southwestern tip of Islay in a location that's called the Scottish Hebrides.
Hebrides.
Okay, well,
Birdies, okay.
Hebrides. It says
I know.
Hebrides. Shebrides, Hebrides. Okay.
Yeah.
So were you there for that when you were there?
I have not been to Islay, and that is where we're going on our trip this year.
In September, we'll be.
We're going
they'll
awesome.
both be
We're
in-
hiking all around Ireland, walking to all the distilleries,
Like a woolen.
Cool.
and
that's-
sometimes we'll be walking straighter than others, but that's
Well,
what
on
we're
a
gonna
whiskey
do.
crawl, if you will.
Yeah,
The whiskey crawl.
yeah. So that we're looking forward
see
to,
that
and then
happen.
I'm going to take another week after that, drive around. So
Oh, I thought recovery.
sober
You're
up.
actually
Gotta
gonna be
sober up a
driving,
little bit.
okay.
I'll spend another week enjoying the fine golf courses and stuff.
yeah,
Little bit to the green.
Just stay off the ball washer.
I will remember to stay off the ball washer.
I'm surprised they didn't kick me out. But anyway, keep going.
but so yeah, I assume at some point we'll find our way to stumble into this distillery.
Stumbling. Yes, you choose your words very accurately.
It's on the hit list.
Yeah.
Amen.
Very cool. But in addition to the Brook Lottie and the Port Charlotte that we're going to try tonight, they also have an Octomore.
That's their kind of world famous.
Yeah, it's considered to be the world's most heavily peated Scotch whiskey.
Oh, I think I want to try that just out of.
Me too. I haven't had the opportunity. I got
Give
a
me
bottle
your
for somebody
beaniest,
for
baby.
their for
Give me the
for
beaniest.
Christmas, but I've not actually
Yeah.
had any myself. We were at the show and they were handing out samples, but they chose to give us something else. But,
I bet we'll find some of that.
but it's on my list.
I think we'll find some of that when we're there.
Yeah, the famous Octomore.
Octomore. They also do a gin. It's called the Botanist Gin, and it's the
fantastic.
first Islay dry gin.
Get out of here! I did
It's
not know they made gin in Scotland.
Fantastic.
Get out of here.
Rick Loddick.
That gin is coming back in a big
It really
way.
is.
Big
It
way.
is.
It's the
I
the
know,
young,
I just-
it's the thing the youngsters are drinking these days.
It's like
Crazy.
chewing on a Christmas tree. I
That's
just
it.
can't do it.
Well, this actually isn't. I mean, if you're ever going to have it, that's the one to get, the botanist.
Well, yeah. I mean, if it's got the Scotch edge to it, yeah, I would like to try that.
Well, I mean, it's really not doesn't have a Scotch edge.
It's juneberries versus barley.
But they use barley as the underlying source for the alcohol.
Okay.
It's just that gin making is a different process. You're using the white spirit, and you do you herbal soak it and different things. I don't really know the whole.
Oh, that's cool because I just assumed.
Well, that's
it was
why we're the
more
whiskey
like a-
round
You can
table.
make gin out of
Amen.
anything.
Amen.
Just
We're
like
not the gin round
anything.
table.
Yeah, just like vodka, you can kind of make it out of anything, and then
Interesting.
starts out kind
I
of. the
cleaned
same
some
way.
chrome off.
Yeah,
some
exactly.
But anyway, let's move along, kids.
Moving along. So tonight we are doing. This is a 10-year aged single malt, heavily peated, as we said, Islay, which I thought was very interesting. Is it comes in at 100 proof.
Which is a little more spirited than most of your single malts, which tend to be in the 80, 90.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like 80, 90. So I'm interested,
Yeah.
very interested to see what this is. So I kind of looked into it because, I'm still trying to learn. I love Scotch, and I'm still trying to understand the different regions. So what I found is that I'm sure you've done this on the Whiskey Wizard before, but the island of Islay is largely composed of peat. And peat from the island gives it a famously medicinal character to the barley. So if you don't know what peat is basically, honestly, and I'm not going to say this technically correct, it's mud.
Yeah, well, it's
Dirt.
It's decayed.
Decayed,
It's
right.
what you would like
Dirt sounds
eventually
better.
if
Decay
you
just like
eventually if it went deep enough, it would compress and it would become oil, right? So it's just that decayed vegetable matter, but in a boggy environment where there's not much oxygen, you create this peat, which is like a dirt. It's like a clay almost.
Yeah.
It's that consistency, and they literally just cut slices out of the side of a hill or of this. They dig into the ground and then they let it dry, and then it's a fuel. They've used it in Scotland as how to heat their homes, and they've used it as a
That's
fuel
what I remember
for
early on,
centuries.
That's exactly how they heat. Yeah.
So when they started making whiskey and you're drying the malt, right? You need some kind of fuel to dry it, and they just use what was available. They use peat. And the peat on Islay is particularly high quality for making whiskey, and because it's by the ocean, it gets all that ocean spray and
Salt.
And it's
wind,
so
and that
plentiful.
adds to the briny kind of oceanic character of their whiskeys.
Awesome.
Wow.
And what they said, what I found, and they have so much information on the Brooklotti website. They said that it is phenol heavy character, and it's usually attributed to the large amount of sphagnum, which is a moss, in the peat in the Islas. So.
Right. It's about this one's about 40 parts per million. I had. So that's
I'm sorry.
40 parts per million phenols. That's how they measure it on how much is on the barley before they grind it. So.
Oh, I know nothing about that. That would
Yeah.
be a great
Yeah. So I don't know what I think the octomore is something like 100. So
Yikes.
just to put it in perspective, and they're calling this heavily peated. So
Yeah, can you imagine?
All right.
But this is 100% Scottish barley. And how they make it, that 65% of the first fill is in American whiskey casks.
Yes.
no surprise there.
10% of the second fill is American whiskey. 10% American whiskey casks, and 25% second fill French wine casks.
Okay, that's interesting.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Me neither.
And what I found is on OHLQ, which you can find this. I'm going to give you some places you can look at it if you're interested in buying a bottle. It's about $80 a bottle.
It's very reasonable, and you can find it in a well-stocked liquor store. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So I looked really quickly yesterday. East Side, you can get it at, they show in stock at Golden Gate Beverage in Mayfield.
Okay.
One of our favorite places, Pat O'Brien's.
Yeah.
In Pepper Pike, I think you call that Pepper
Yep,
Pike.
Pepper Pike.
Caps and Corks in North Olmsted. Giant Eagle in Westlake, and World Wines and Liquor in
Mentor.
Northfield.
Oh, Northfield. We were just
Northfield.
we were just there.
I know.
We're just there.
I know. Limited supply. They show that it's at the Market District in Solon, the Wine Reserve in Bainbridge, and the Giant Eagle in Chardon and Parma.
That's a wide variety. Northeast Ohio.
Get it anywhere.
Yeah, I tried to hit it all over. So if you guys are interested in trying this, you can get it. It's out there.
There's some kind of a conversation. Let's take the whole round table on a field trip. So where are we going?
Scotland, Islay, Jura.
Oh, Scotland.
Hey, that would be great. I've said that we need to do some kind of
A
sponsor.
kind of a remote show, maybe.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
we need
Bye.
to.
We are live in the Isle of Jura.
Right.
All right. What do we got on scroll before we dive in?
Bob's taking us all on a trip. It's Bob.
Okay.
Hey, thanks, Bob.
All right. Bob's World. Wasn't that a movie?
Jen says, I only drink 100 proof on an empty stomach.
Go, girl.
That a girl.
I love Jen.
Oofa. Oofa.
Go, girl.
She's a whiskey girl.
Yes, she is.
There you go. I'm sorry, I'm scrolling. There's a lot of activity today.
Okay. Anybody new on the scroll?
What is Jephthah Creed? I'm sorry, I'm trying to scroll back up. Jephthah Creed Moonshine. Now you're talking my language, Bob.
Yeah. We like moonshine.
Gin can. Bob said gin can now. Oh wait, can. I'm just gonna read what's here. Gin now can a lower percentage of juniper berries.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I would say that the botanist is not very. We were talking about that earlier. It's not very ginny, if you will. It doesn't have so much of the juniper taste. So.
Let's see.
For those who don't like that.
Bob said he just got back from Golden Gate. That's right, you were
Oh.
there today.
That's right. I didn't
Golden
know that.
State, right? Not the,
No, the liquor store where you can get this.
okay,
Yes.
okay.
He was just there.
Good.
Not, he wasn't like in San Francisco
Oh,
or
okay.
anything. No.
Nobody goes to San Francisco anymore.
nobody
trust me.
goes there anymore.
Bob said can have, not can. Anyway, okay, so that's
get
what I
into this.
have on this. Doug, do you have anything you want to add?
No, I think we covered most of it. It's a good Islay whiskey. I've never had it, so
I'll
I'm looking
comment
forward
though.
to it.
I've never seen the
A bottle.
scotches in a dark bottle like that.
A dark green
Historically, it's they're clear bottles and it's a very light colored whiskey, but
I
it's
think
extremely
it's a
light.
green dark bottle. It's
Another
unusual.
one that's an Islay is the Lafroig is in a green bottle.
Yeah.
typically,
Yeah.
It is. You're right.
Right? That's another one you like.
That's the first one I commented. That's very unusual. The color of the bottle.
I agree
Yeah.
with you. That was the first thing when he poured it. I was like, I was not expecting it to be that light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
like I pulled the bottle back. I'm like, I poured it back. I'm like, holy cow, that's light.
Well, I haven't seen this one, and I just
Yeah.
when
They
we
don't do
talk
that
about
for any reason for light sensitivity or
they might
ultraviolet light or
that
anything
might
like that.
be the reason,
yeah.
but one of the things I do is I like to see what it looks like in the bottle.
Yes,
It's hard.
exactly.
I mean, it's a science. So
That's
you-
almost
you-
always why they're in clear
Right,
bottles,
so-
is you want to.
I think what we'll see, and I'll see if I'm right, a lot of the Islas, although they're peaty, as we've talked about, they're not dark, full body. They usually have a very light color.
Right.
When we've done other ones, we've noticed that as well.
Sure,
So I think we're going to probably see that to be the case, but we'll find out.
All right, let's
Getting
move on,
thirsty
kids.
talking about it.
Yeah,
do it.
pass it on.
Okay.
Pass it on,
So,
kids.
Bob, if
Ready.
you want to grab those two.
I will.
So I will ask
Mr.
Doug.
Dunbar?
Doug, I know you're a big Scotch guy. Have we tried, or has there been 100 proof Scotch that we have tried before?
I think
we did.
Sure, yeah, but not a lot to get too far over that. We did one that was I think we've done one that was cask strength, which is rare, and I can't remember which one that was off the top of my head here.
Yeah, I would.
Boy,
Not
it
very
sure
common.
doesn't have a heavy nose for being 100 proof.
But it's
pretty.
I was expecting kind of a heavy
Yeah,
nose. and
it's
it's
a
pretty
very
mild.
light,
Very
light
mild.
But I
flavor.
do
It is.
I do smell that definite heritage of Islay here.
But it's so faint. It's
Oh,
not
it really
like a
is.
Lafroig
It's-
or something
I really
that
expected
will,
a
like,
much
knock you.
much stronger.
It's almost like a little bit of warm honey.
I get that. I get orange peel.
I get
and
orange.
I
definitely
orange.
get
Orange
some
was
of the
orange was my-
what I call seaweed. It's just
Orange
probably
was the next thing I was going
Orange
to
is
say.
the first thing I
A
smell.
little bit of very light orange citrus, if you will.
And then the typical seaweed kind
Mhm.
of briny.
The briny, the orange briny.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That smells.
Oh, it's amazing
It
on
smells
the nose.
beautiful.
It is. It smells
It's
so stinking
What's the
good.
proof on it? 100 proof?
100
100 proof.
Wow.
And again, I thought it'd have
Okay.
a little stronger nose.
Would you say that is? Two char maybe?
It might be toasted.
Toasted?
I now use the Bob Lecken 2 nostril method.
Okay.
I did too. I was rolling. See,
Oh,
Bob?
I have not seen that technique.
Oh,
You
that
roll
smells
from one-
granny's
Because
candies.
sometimes
That's always
one
fun.
nostril is different than the other in terms of what it picks up.
Y'all missed all that, but anyway.
Thank God. Nothing to see here.
I think that went by me. I didn't hear that.
Good thing.
Good thing, huh?
Come on, Eric.
Yeah. So no, if you roll it from side to
No,
side, like-
I kind of see the
Yeah,
logic.
it's-
Kind of, your eyesight's not the exact same on both sides. so-
exactly. Yeah.
When you roll it, you get medicine, but when you snip it straight, you don't
Yeah,
get medicine.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's
Correct.
the
Yeah.
peat.
You
get
that
yeah.
peat,
You
that
get-
medicine. Yeah, you do. You do get that
Oh,
band-aid.
that's what you're calling them.
That,
The
just
peat
that
is what
little
you're
bit of
calling that
band-aid, so
medicinal
to say.
smell.
Exactly.
The phenol
yeah,
smell.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's kind of fat. That's kind of forward.
You know, I get
kinda forward.
I'm not getting a. You know, I get the oceanic seaweed, if you will, but I'm not getting a lot of smoke on the nose.
I don't
Does anybody
smell,
else get
I do
smoke?
not smell smoke.
Yeah, I get a little. I said that. I said we get a little. I get a
the
little
peat.
smoke out. But it's pleasant smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not like real harsh smoke.
like your Lagavulin to me is like.
Oh, you can
if you
smell
want
the smoke
smoke,
right there.
that's the
heavy.
whiskey that delivers it, or
It's
a
heavy.
Talisker.
That is my favorite, actually. Lagavulin 116.
Is
Yeah,
it?
that's one. That's his.
It's my go-to whiskey.
And that is also on your arm tattooed.
Nice.
No, I didn't tattoo the Scotch yet. No, it's just the Sierra Nevada beer and
Oh,
Heineken
okay,
tattooed on each bicep.
Nice.
Well, after the show, he'll have to show that.
Yes.
We'll get some photos and we'll put it up on our page. So.
Nice.
All right, kids,
Very
let's dive
nice.
into this.
Okay.
Oh,
here
may
we
I?
go.
Yeah, go for it. So while you guys are tasting, so what they said is on the nose there's smoke, but it's calmed by the marine character. It's dry and earthy with waves of caramel, fudge, vanilla, custard, hints of ginger, nutmeg, and clove.
Got the nutmeg and clove right there.
That's on the nose, they said.
No,
actually.
I'm tasting apricot.
Yeah.
Apricot.
Yes.
It is
Oh.
absolutely delicious.
It's salty water, a little bit salty.
It
It's a
is
little
salty.
briny. It's a little briny.
Good word. Yep.
But I'm going to tell you, I'm.
It's
Wow.
like it's
I'm
like
really
just
enjoying it.
inhaling the air at the ocean.
Yeah, I think that's a
It
little bit.
is.
You know, we talked about Ardbeg earlier. I think it's a little bit stronger than Ardbeg.
I'm telling you, as,
Yeah.
as the nose is well, it's not tasting 100 proof to me. I just maybe
No,
it's just
no,
psyching me out.
yeah, I
100
agree
proof
with you.
psychs me out. It's
I agree
stronger,
with
and I'm
Your
not getting.
glass, though, the legs tell you it's
Yeah.
Yeah, it's heavy. I mean, it took a while for them legs to kind of drop. There's still. I only have a few of the legs you can see right here.
Yeah.
There's really. It's heavy. It's real heavy.
Yeah.
I get a little something
I
light,
didn't get
like
a whole lot of smoke either.
cream or custard, something.
This doesn't have the smoke
That's-
of a Lagavulin in some of them.
No,
or Lefroy.
I get some smoke on the palate, but not. It's not strong. I get a little more organic. Still a little more of the sea air saltiness.
Yep.
And the peat, though it's fairly high in this, it's not overpowering. Even though
Yeah.
they call it heavily peated, I'd say it's pretty balanced. It's
I'd
not.
say it's long finish.
Some overly.
Oh, it's got
peat-
a really
high
long
peats
finish.
can be vegetal, kind of. This doesn't have that.
What?
Vegetal, kind of herbal,
Herbal, yeah.
high
Oh, okay,
herbalness.
thank you.
Fancy Dan's.
Oh, great.
No, I think
Doug's usually spot on, man. So
I would say the word I would use to describe this is it's very thick and smoky to me.
it is smoky.
Yeah.
And I think it's
smoke's
all
there.
of
I think
100
it's
proof.
smoke. I think it's got a little bit more smoke power, so to say. We talked about the 16 Lagavulin,
Yeah.
and I think it's a little bit heavier. Ardbeg as well. I think it's compared to those other two bottles.
You think this is a little heavier on the
I
smoke?
think it's a little heavier in the smoke. I really do.
Yeah.
That's
Than
just
the
my
Ardbeg.
I think
Or
it's
the
a-
Lagavulin both.
or-
you said.
or-
I don't know if I would, for as far as the Lagavulin 16, I don't know if I'd say it's smokier than that, but because to me that's kind of the one end of the spectrum. But
Yeah.
but hey, I am getting smoke on the palate. I didn't really get it on the nose, so
I get a little.
yeah.
Now that I'm sitting here for the last, I don't know, whatever minute or so, it's sweet on the end.
You
It's
think?
it's
Oh,
got
it's a sweet
sweetness
finish.
to it.
It's a
Definitely
sweet
That's what I'm
some
saying.
kind
The custard,
some kind.
is like
Yeah, okay. It's got it.
Yeah.
It's you said creamy
creamy
as
custard
well,
kinda.
but it's definitely got that
Yeah.
sweetness. If you just let it, you're without touching it again, just letting
Yeah.
it, enjoying the aftertaste. It's really good.
really nice finish. You know what I get a little bit on that finish is a little bit like ginger.
No, you keep saying ginger. I know
That's
what
what they said on the nose
on the
notes
nose they
were
said
the
you made.
ginger and the
Yeah.
nutmeg, yeah,
Oh, okay.
and the clove.
It's good.
Yeah, you know
good.
what? The more
Clove, yeah.
I would say clove on
I think
the
you
finish.
said that early on. Yeah, I think
On the finish, I
I
could
get
say
some
clove.
more clove on the finish than I did,
But
did on the nose.
in my opinion, just my opinion, everybody's palate's different.
Oh,
I always say
absolutely.
this, but I was trying to figure out what I was missing. I couldn't figure it out. I kept rubbing my tongue and all that stuff. It is the clove on the very back finish. There's that clove taste or that aroma, so to say.
all you '80s kids that used to smoke those clove cigarettes.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
Oh, I hated those things. Just the smell of those
Yes,
things
that's
made me
it.
sick.
Oh, I love those.
Oh.
They had clove gum.
Clove gum
Clove
too.
gum, remember
yes,
that? Remember that?
exactly.
you're all showing your age. Listen, this is a 70-year-old club over
Hey,
there.
we're not proud. Come on. Anyone else want to give any
I mean, I think
impressions on the palate or the finish?
we covered it.
I think we did. Go on, let's
we
move
covered
on.
it pretty well.
It's a nice island. It's a very
It's
nice,
very
well
nice.
balanced
Nice.
island. It's
It,
And it grows on you.
it's everything I like about the Scotch whiskies. It's
The more
it's
that, yeah.
yeah, it's right at dead center in the kind of the
very well
Islay
balanced.
flavor profile.
Yep.
It's a little even softer and tamer than I thought for a 10-year-old highly peated.
At 100
at
proof.
I think it's
proof.
delightful. I think, and I think, did we say the price? $80.
It's $80
Yeah.
according to OHLQ.
$80 for a
That's along
single
the
malt
price
like
of a
this.
Lagavulin. Yeah, it's comparable to.
Nice.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. No question in
Oh,
my mind.
I'll enjoy some of this in Scotland.
There you go.
Yeah.
So what Brooke Lottie says is on the palate, they call it soft, delicate texture, smoky, with oak, coconut, vanilla, custard. Doug, I think you
Boy,
said that.
Coconut's one I didn't taste.
I didn't
taste it.
either. No
Yeah.
coconut at
Sometimes
all.
you get tropical fruit in
Yeah,
Scotch,
yeah.
like this.
I tasted the orange and citrus, but not coconut.
Yeah.
And I wonder if you put some water in there, if it would
If it opens
We
something
could.
else
We
open
up,
it up
try
a
it,
little
right.
bit. Which interested me is that they also say on the palate is smoked oysters. I don't know. And sun-baked salty
This
sand.
is where I would giggle sometimes as I read these descriptions.
Oh, yeah.
But again, I'm becoming
Smoked
more
oysters.
educated.
The marketing guys wrote this,
well,
right?
Yeah, smoked
Yeah.
oysters is something I would describe for the Lagavulin 16.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because we talked a lot. You get that sand and that salt
Yeah.
and that, and I kind of can see somebody pulling that out of
Yeah.
there. You know, like a
Sure.
shellfish kind of thing. The finish, they say smoky with fudge and malted barley,
Okay.
I get that.
orange and mango.
Orange for sure, mango sure.
I think you guys were talking
Yeah,
about.
definitely the orange.
There's some tropicalness
Yep.
to it. I wouldn't say coconut, but yeah, mango.
Mango
maybe.
would go with the orange that I tasted. Yeah.
And they, what they had out here is I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, Banoffee pie. So a Banoffee pie is a British dessert pie. It's made from bananas, whipped cream, and a thick caramel sauce.
Oh,
All my favorite food groups. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And the crust is either like a buttery biscuit or crumbled biscuits. So I don't get any
Nothing
of that.
sounds disagreeable there.
No, it doesn't. But I don't get that out of here.
I said that. I
Let's
don't
leave
get
that
that
buttery
story
biscuit.
about
let's
every
leave the
once
Brits out of the Scots business.
Just saying.
We don't care about their opinion.
Definitely.
Brexit. Anyway,
Yeah.
All right, go ahead,
as
let's
the
go.
smoke leaves, you get some ripe apple and apricot. I think you guys
I
Very
heard
good.
said
apricot. I said apricot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 See, look at you now.
Yeah.
You're
Look
pulling
at
all
you.
this
You
stuff.
he's
I was telling
come
you
so
the
far.
evolution. I went from giggling to actually understanding.
Came
Actually,
he went from rolling his eyes to he kind of is getting it. A
Yeah,
little
that's
bit,
good.
yeah.
Good. All right.
We gave this to some of the crowd out there. You guys have anything you want to add as far as nose, palate, finish, anything?
Cheese.
Did we cover it?
Geez, delicious.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think I was going to like it, and I like it. I get the apricot. I still get plenty.
Wow.
Of clove. I still get plenty of clove,
You do get that, yeah.
and I didn't think it was that smoky personally.
Yeah, I'm with you. I
it's-
get more
it's
smoky on
pretty
it.
tame.
Yeah.
It's really, it's about the tamest
Yeah,
Isla
yeah.
I've ever had.
I was.
quite
Yeah,
honestly.
I agree with you. Lagavulin
Yeah.
at 80 proof seems a lot more bite to it than this does. At
I shy away from the Islas, and I would not shy away from this because
That's
Wonderful.
great.
It's pretty balanced.
Because it
awesome.
is balanced and lighter, if
Right.
you will. Yeah.
So I would say, if you're
If you're scoring
if you're
at home,
ready to graduate to trying some of the Islay whiskeys, or the more peaty, smoky whiskeys, this might be a good one to as an entree into that.
Worth the money for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, and it's
well, to
worth
his
the money.
taste, he
right?
appreciates the peaty not as much as the smoke. Is why he likes it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I will say I was not expecting it to be this pleasant. I don't, and
Yeah.
I'm a Scotch girl and I love Scotch. I just kind of shy away from some of the more peaty things, but this is very pleasant. And at 100 proof, it's a lot more tame than I expected it to be.
It's, yeah, very very drinkable and approachable. I just a nice whiskey. So on that note, are we ready to score?
Let's do it.
I think we're ready. So, Doug, how do you want to do this? You want to go first?
I'll go first. This is one I think I might want to have on hand, available. It could be a regular drinker when want something with a little more oomph. I could see just reaching for this, right? And so I'm going to give it with that a flat 4.0 on our 1 or 0 to 5 scale. And that gets some cheers.
That's certainly a high score.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 4 is just something you definitely would want to have on your bar.
Absolutely.
It's some I like to have. If it's available, I'd like to have it on my bar at all times, and this meets that. I think I'll try to do that. So
There you go. So Pat,
Yes. Well, I could tell you, it will definitely be on my shelf. I do not have a collection anywhere near what Greg has, obviously, or
yeah, well that's just
nobody
stupid.
does. But even what Doug has at home, I'm pretty much Islays, and I've got a lot of bottles of Islays, and this will be in the mix on a routine. I enjoy it very much. Lagavulin, as I told you, is my favorite, and Lagavulin to me is a 4.7, 4.8. I'd give this a 4.2.
Nice.
4.2.
Score.
And again, because it's in my wheelhouse, and I really enjoy the
Yeah.
Islas, and that's pretty high score.
No,
for
it's
too.
a-
Yeah.
I'm still so shocked that you went from beer like right to this.
I know,
because
I know,
This
that's-
is like you almost have to build up to something like this and get used to it.
Well, I
He's-
guess if
he's
I'm
an
going to drink
enigma,
whiskey,
we've
I
said
like
that.
whiskey, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah, you're
No
just
messing
gonna
around here.
go for it.
Yeah.
Go right to the good stuff.
It's funny. He's branching off into space sides. with
I am
this
to
now,
it. Yeah, exactly.
which is the opposite of what most people.
And the Highlands are the ones I just can't acquire much of a taste for. The real spicy scotches, which are the Highlands, the Macallans, and those kinds are not my favorites.
No.
Space
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
So, okay. Well,
right. G, what do you?
Big J.
Well, I had a number in my mind, and I said to myself,
Self.
Self.
if you pick my number, I'm going to give you the finger.
Oh,
And I saw the
shoot.
finger.
Okay,
Oh,
I did see it.
shoot.
I'm with
He
Doug.
and I.
I
scored the
wondered.
same, so-
I wondered why the finger, and now I understand the finger.
And we don't do it intentionally, but we're often very.
Me and
close.
him are very close on a lot of drinks.
You
And
can-
I'm not, I mean, I like scotch, but I very rarely sit down to drink it, so to say.
Right, you're a bourbon guy.
I'm definitely more of a bourbon
Absolutely.
whiskey guy. But you know what? We talk back, at the end of the year, we sit down and we talk about, what do we want to do? So this year we stepped our game up with the products. Okay, and what really behooves me is Doug always does the scotch. I mean, that's his thing, right? He runs that whole gauntlet, and he has just in the last few months since we've been back on air, so to say, it's doing what he does is teaching me better and better. And again, I'm not Scotch forward, but he's spot on. It's a great drink.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I could tell you, you've influenced Doug quite a lot. Over the years, we've enjoyed the Scots, and it was almost a snobbish, exclusive Scotch club. And Doug, over the years, has introduced some of the bourbons and some of the palate he's acquired with you in the show, and introduced some bourbons.
Oh yeah, my
So-
American whiskey
Yeah.
appreciation's definitely grown through the show. No
Absolutely,
question.
absolutely. We've seen the influence.
And you
absolutely.
saw in my
Yeah,
collection, I have
absolutely.
equal amount of American
Sure,
whiskeys.
I saw that.
Go Doug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And he's helped Karen
Yeah.
along
and
the
I
way as
love
well.
it. I love them both.
She
I'm
never
glad that you don't
never even want to hear about Scotch.
Yeah.
We're not doing Scotch.
Wow.
We're like,
Again,
no, we're
obviously,
doing
you've
Scotch.
obviously done well to influence each other and open
Yeah, my
your,
father.
your entire spectrum.
Dad, you'd be proud.
Yeah,
That's my Scotch heritage.
there you go.
Exactly.
There you go.
So as far as my score, I do really like this, and I'm pleasantly surprised at it being heavily peated, 100 proof Islay.
Doesn't drink like that.
It doesn't. I wavered on my score, but my final score is a 3.85
Okay.
Okay.
Very
Respectful.
specific. 8-5.
Respectful.
8-5.
Yeah,
from the Russian
I
judge.
like to put in.
No, I
Yes.
it's really really good, but I think
It's just not your wheelhouse, the PD scotches, and
Well, you know what? It wouldn't be something I would grab.
that's right.
You know, it would be something definitely I would want to try, and it's good, and I'm not
Yep.
Disappointed at all. But if I was going to grab something, I think I would take the Old Scout or the Glenmorangie
Yeah.
before I would. Yeah.
Hence sub 4.
Yeah.
Hence a slightly sub 4.
All right.
Yeah.
But 3.85 is
It's
still,
still
a very
nice score,
good
exactly.
whiskey roundtable score.
Coming from when I did the Lagavulin, how do you say
Lagavulin.
Lagavulin.
that? Oh my gosh, I couldn't even. I would have given it like a 0.5.
Yeah.
I used to hate it back then,
Yeah.
but you do, and as you said
You
before
acquire
we
a
were,
taste,
you learn to like different flavors and appreciate
Yep.
what it has to offer.
Absolutely true.
You have a score there. Cheese.
I would be. I know my son would love this, but
Yeah,
I'm
he
not
would.
an Islay guy. But I have to admit, I'm pleasantly surprised. The number that popped in my head was 3.9.
There you go.
All right.
If
Awesome.
Good.
I'm
That's
kind of a
almost
Johnny
applause
Walker. If I
worthy.
drink Scotch, Johnny Walker Blue is my favorite.
Yep.
Give some applause.
But
Well,
that bottle is
remember
very
that
good.
you have to, 4 and above gets applause, but we'll make
No,
it
that's huge
3.9
for
for
cheese.
an Islay for
No,
me,
for-
that's
because-
That's
that's
big.
for him.
That's big.
I agree.
That he went from 1 to 90.
Appreciate
I
that.
can
Doesn't-
drive.
he is not a Scotch
Okay.
guy.
And it's
All right.
a lot of flavor.
Once again,
It's
here
really
we go.
balanced. It's
There
really
you
quite
go.
impressive
Yeah.
how much flavor is in that.
Right.
I was trying to palate it, and the 100 proof got me a little bit, but it's very good.
Yeah. You know, and it's still warming in a very good
Oh,
way.
It
It's-
is,
it
but
warms
in
the
a
belly.
good way, like
Oh,
you
it
said,
warms
yeah.
It's
Great out by
Yeah.
a campfire
You really don't
on a
get the
fall
medicine
night.
until
Yeah.
you kind of finish the drink
Yeah.
and breathe out.
Well, that's
Then
when you feel
then
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
it's not-
Exactly.
sometimes you drink those Islas and it tastes like Band-Aids. It's like it's Band-Aids on the exhale instead of the
Yeah, it's
Band-Aids. Now that's something you won't read on the bottle.
that's my
Band-Aids.
description.
What do
yeah.
you got, Casey?
What do you,
Well, you know me, I'm not the big spirit drinker, but
you are not.
I actually like this. I was a little
Do
nervous
you?
when it said it was 100%.
100
proof. 100 proof. Yeah.
And I do taste the cloves. My initial taste was mud.
Yes, and that's the.
I used to eat worms
That's
as a
the
kid.
peak.
I know all about mud.
And, but it didn't burn going down.
Yeah,
and
it's very
and
smooth.
it was
Yeah.
very smooth, and I liked it. So for me, that a 3.5.
Nice,
Awesome.
very
Respectful.
good. Look
Okay.
at you, Casey.
You're looking at a
What do you
Very
got, sidecar?
respectable.
Oh, nothing. I didn't do it.
He didn't do it. He's
No.
You
he's
didn't do
a
it?
No, I'm not.
What
he's
is
a
the
non.
matter with you?
You could do
What
this
kind of
one,
dago
Ralph.
are you,
You
man?
could do this one, Ralph.
Dude, for
could do
real,
it.
you
I
have
could
your
do it,
Whiskey
Ralph. You could do
Roundtable
it.
T-shirt on, and you didn't even do the Whiskey
It's
Roundtable.
whiskey.
Whiskey.
See, it's E. It is.
He's got
E.
the E. He's got
He's
the
got
E.
a point there. We got.
I'm never going to
Alright.
Niagara Falls again,
There
just
you
so you know.
All right, let's move
big-
on.
Okay, well, let's
XX.
look at what we're going to talk about next week as we're coming up on the half hour here.
It happens. Sometimes we take a little
Well,
longer.
we have a special guest today.
That's
That's
quite
right.
Thank you, guys.
You know,
Very special guest. We'll take this little quick ride on the bottle cam,
that's
and then we'll be back.
precious cargo. So we want to.
That's right.
We'll give you the little bumper car. All right, so this is what we're going to do next week, so take a look.
Hey
Right back,
everyone,
kids.
it's time for the bottle cam. The bottle cam.
All right, so
All
we're
right.
going to travel back to the U.S. and do some Woodford Reserve. next
Woodford
week.
Distillers Select. This is another one I've not ever had.
Awesome.
So have you had this particular one yet, or
Is that a Kentucky bourbon?
not.
or-
yes?
It is
Yeah.
Woodford. Yeah,
Woodford,
that is
so
the
it's
bourbon
right
of
in
the
the heart
Kentucky
of
Derby.
the Bourbon Trail down
Yeah,
there,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
for sure.
So just to hit the scroll back up, RJ has joined
RJ,
us.
what's up, dog? Are
And
you
he-
still in town? Or are you back on flying?
I don't know, but Lagavulin 16 is also his favorite.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Oh,
He'd love this.
Oh my
He'd
gosh,
love
Yeah,
it.
he
you
would
and
like it.
RJ.
Oh
There we
my
go.
God.
What kind of
That's
beer?
right,
God,
RJ likes
What kind of
Yes.
beer does RJ like?
I don't think he likes any beer.
Well, you know, when I go over there, he has he likes old fashioned beer.
Yeah.
He has Great Lakes here
Okay.
in Cleveland, the craft beer, which is really
Not
good.
Bud Light.
No.
Yeah.
He tried it once
No, I
and blew
don't
an earring.
think he
just
definitely
said, "That's
doesn't
enough
like
of
Bud
that."
Light.
No, he put a skirt on. It was all over it. Eric Black said that this has won many votes as the best value and taste.
That's what I'm
Oh,
talking
I,
Yeah.
I,
Eric
I'm not-
is-
I,
Eric
yeah,
is
that makes
spot
sense.
on.
Believe it.
I'm
Yeah.
really not surprised at that because that's the price of a Lagavulin. And
That certainly doesn't suck.
No, it certainly doesn't. And he said it wins because of the salt and other flavors, and they complement the smoke.
Yeah.
I would totally agree.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you get the smoke on the palate, but it just, there's so much
sounds
going
like he
on.
knows
So
exactly what he's
balanced.
saying.
Nothing
Absolutely.
Yeah,
feels
he's very diverse.
Nothing
Yeah, he
tastes
is.
He
out
really
of
is.
whack. Everything works. It's for a 10-year-old single malt. It's incredible.
What else we got on the scroll?
We got Shauna, your beautiful bride.
Shauna.
Your beautiful
was-
bride says, good scores.
Yeah,
Shauna,
she-
you missed a good week, girl. You should've
Yeah,
been
she was taking care of mom.
Just take care of Mama.
Yeah.
Looking. Everyone's saying another great show. Hey, we're still here. Don't leave us yet. Hey.
Yeah, because we're heading
No,
into the
no,
closing
no.
here.
Okay. So before we close, I got a little bit of news.
Oh, good.
If you guys remember, I was sent a special bottle from Eddie Russell
Oh, yes.
of the 13-year-old reserve.
So good.
Okay. So they announced today that the 13-year will be on the shelves.
It's coming back.
Coming back.
That is nice.
Coming back.
Wild turkey in the house.
There we
And
go.
something about kind of the chutzpah of just releasing a 13-year-old.
Chutzpah.
Well, I don't know.
Chutzpah.
What's
I
the word?
love
What's
that
the-
word.
So
That's perfect.
I
Little Yiddish.
can't
A little Yiddish in
Yeah,
I can't wait to get another bottle or five, and
Yeah.
then we can kill the bottle we opened for the show.
That's right.
So I have a question from Shauna. She said, "Wait, is what we're doing double oak different than the double oak?"
What? Come again, baby.
Are we?
Next week, the next
Well, what's Woodford Reserve?
Woodford
Right.
Reserve. I'm
Distiller
sorry, I couldn't
Select.
think. She said, "Is the Woodford Reserve double
Oh.
oak different than the double oak?"
Is there a double versus a double?
Well, yes.
And
There
in
is.
and out,
they,
there
they
is
do
a
have
difference.
They have a double oak. They have a double oak out.
They do. They do.
Like
have a
Jim
double
Beam
oak.
does.
The double oak is fantastic. I don't even think we've done a show with that.
Not that I remember.
That's
Sounds like it's on the agenda.
That's a fantastic
Yeah,
bottle.
that's a-
It really is.
Put it on the agenda.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Jen already answered that question. She said yes, it is different, but both are good. And Cameron and Lauren joined us.
Hey,
from-
Cameron,
Where
Lauren.
you
Cameron,
been, Lauren?
Lauren. So
Isn't Lauren coming next week?
no, Lauren is not, but Cameron will
Cameron's
be our
coming next week.
Cameron will be
You
our
said, you know,
guest
'cause-
next week.
Lauren, girl,
What-
really?
what-
You can't
so
show up?
no disrespect, no disrespect to your son, but she's spot
She's
on, man.
her game.
So-
man.
Well, you
No,
know, like
She
No,
knows her
no,
whiskeys
no
and
disrespect
she's-
to Cameron because
Yeah.
he's the same guy, but she oh my God, she just goes, man. She just goes.
Jennifer said the double oak is even better.
okay,
Okay.
I didn't
All right,
know.
well, we're
I
gonna
didn't
find
know.
out.
We're gonna find
and,
out. Now I got to research it. We have to research that. So, all right,
I'll
well,
do it.
you guys ready to
I
roll
don't know
out?
what's going on here with the audio.
You got Doug.
All right, we have a little music for the closing. So, thank you all for watching.
We did not
Again,
pay the
remember,
rights for this
remember
music.
if you don't. Well, yeah, in a way, I did.
You never know.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thanks for watching. Look, if you missed the show, it happens. Make sure that you do watch at your convenience after the live show, whenever that time, because it's those total views that help us keep this going. Don't forget to subscribe to our page and check out our website. Karen's put a lot of effort into keeping it up to date at the Whiskey Roundtable at
It's just
thewhiskeyroundtable.com.
Yeah,
Thank you,
check
thank
us
you.
out. Yeah.
And so I'll leave us tonight with our closing quote. This one comes from George Burns, and we have done this before, but it's timely for tonight.
Cigar for George Burns.
George Burns said, "I love to sing and I love to drink scotch. Most people would rather hear me drink scotch." So,
I understand.
All right, kids. I thank you for watching tonight. We had a great time as always. Thank you for being here.
Pleasure to be here.
Pat,
It's been an
thanks,
honor.
thanks,
Thank you guys
Pat.
very much for
Thanks,
having
Pat.
me.
All
I
right.
appreciate it very much.
I also want to remind you guys, the Whiskey Wizard. Watch the show.
Great.
Subscribe. Like, please. Okay, as Doug puts a lot of work into that, and he
knows
and he
his
knows
stuff.
his products. So we
you were
appreciate
mentioning
that.
Lauren, and I just wanted to say, and I think the one that we did
A few weeks back.
Yeah.
that she was that she featured on talking about Glenmorangie. I think that's one of our highest views. So
Nice.
Yeah,
job,
well,
Lauren.
she's easy on the eyes.
she is
There you
pretty
go.
girl, and she knows.
Nice.
And on top of that, she knows her whiskey.
She knows
Yes,
what
she
she
does.
said.
So yeah.
All right, kids. Hey, listen. We'll catch you next week. Thank you for watching the show. Safe weekend. Catch you next week. We are your hosts, Big G.
Karen Helen Keller.
Doug Dunbar,
And Pat Patterson out.
All right,
tonight's
kids.
special guest. We'll
Have a
see
great
you
night.
later.
Go Tribe.
Yeah.
Awesome.
If whiskey stopped working, every bar in town would be closing their doors, shutting down. Everybody would be trapped with their thoughts, 'cause nothing numbs the pain like bourbon or scotch. Oh no, oh no, no. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably wasting lots of money trying therapy. If whiskey stopped working, what the hell would I do? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be over you. If whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, oh, whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped. Poor Jack D would be out of a job. Jameson and Bean would be cut off. Hank Williams songs wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, this whole damn world would be a mess. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably wasting lots of money trying therapy. If whiskey stopped working, what the hell would I do? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I would. over you. If whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, oh, whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped, oh. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably halfway out of this town, leaving Tennessee.